Day in the life of a nail tech. That ends in a financial crime investigation. It's 6:45 a.m. in the heart of Midtown Atlanta. My alarm goes off, but I've already been up. Barely slept. Something about today just feels off. I can't explain it, but you'll see what I mean later. I'm Kyra, a full-time nail tech, part-time true crime junkie, and on this particular Thursday, April 17th, 2025, my ordinary day was about to get a whole lot stranger. I start the morning with my usual routine: oat milk latte, affirmations, and a scroll through my bookings on the Gloss Genius app. Fully booked today, per usual. 6 clients, back to back. First client? Ashley. Loyal, sweet, works at a local law firm, wants a money green freestyle set. I thought it was just a color choice. Didn't know it would literally involve money. My studio, Polish and Paper, is inside a cute co-working beauty suite in Buckhead. I open up early to sanitize, stock up, and set the vibe. Candles lit, 2000s R&B on the speaker. Let's go. Ashley comes in, iced chai in hand, talking fast. She's in criminal defense and mid-rant about a new client. Some banker caught funneling small amounts of cash through fake nail salons to clean dirty money. I half laughed, half joked. Wait, like money laundering through nail techs like me? She's like, exactly. Cash heavy, low overhead, high customer turnover, perfect front. I brush it off and start filing, but that's when she pulls out a $100 bill for a $75 set and says, "Keep the change." That's what she tipped him too. I froze. Him? Who? Client number 2 is a new name. Melissa W. says she found me on Instagram. Wants nude coffin with gold foil and $ charms. Weird theme today, huh? Midway through her fill-in, she gets a phone call, steps outside, doesn't mute her mic. I hear something like, "The drop is at 12:15 Buckhead Post Office. Name's under K. McIntyre." I look at her purse. Designer, expensive, but her card declines 3 times. She shrugs, says, "Oh, my bank's just weird," and pays with cash. I try to decompress with lunch at Toast on Lennox, but my head's spinning. I Google K. McIntyre Buckhead money laundering, and guess what? That's a real person. A local banker under federal investigation as of last week. Next client, smooth, polished, asks too many questions. Like, do most of your clients pay in cash? And what's the most someone's tipped you? At first, I thought she was another YouTuber or influencer. But then she flashes a badge under her jacket while I'm capping her nails. Homeland Security Investigations. Tells me they've been watching a ring use nail salons to launder money. And my studio? Just flagged in the flow. I'm sitting there stunned when 2 more agents walk in. They don't arrest me. Instead, they ask if I'll cooperate. Turns out someone's been using my business account to funnel funds, and it ain't me. Long story short, the booking app I used was part of a hacked third-party plugin, redirecting portions of client payments into offshore accounts. They needed my cooperation to trace it, and they said Ashley's law firm was unknowingly representing the same person who created the financial shell. I cancel my last client, head spinning, agent still in my studio. I ask, "So, am I a suspect?" One smiles and says, "Not anymore. You just became a witness." So yeah, that's how a normal Thursday turned into me being involved in a federal investigation. My only crime? Doing bomb nails and trusting a payment app. Lesson of the day: watch your apps, watch your bookings, and if everyone wants money nails in cash, maybe ask a few more questions. I sit on the couch, still in my apron, staring at my ring light and phone tripod like they're crime scene evidence. The agents left hours ago, but said they'd be in touch. I replay every detail of the day in my head like I'm editing a vlog. The voice memo I accidentally recorded from Melissa's phone call? They kept that. And Ashley's $100 bill? Yeah, turns out it wasn't real. It was a high-quality counterfeit linked to the same laundering ring. My client handed me a federal offense like it was a tip. I open my nail tech group chat. My girl Tasha from Chicago texts, "Y'all getting weird clients asking for $ charms too?" Another tech from Miami replies, "Yes, and trying to pay in cash only. Even asked if I had direct deposit to someone else's account." My stomach drops. This isn't just an Atlanta thing. It's nationwide. Just when I think it can't get any worse, my phone buzzes. Unknown number. I answer, thinking it's the agent's, but it's a man's voice, smooth and eerie. "You ask too many questions for someone who just does nails." My heart stops. He hangs up. I screenshot the call log and send it to the agent's number they gave me earlier. Now it's not just federal, it's personal. A part of me is paranoid, but the rest of me, fed up. I remembered I installed a hidden security camera disguised as a thermostat for.
The goal is to become your own nail tech, especially in today's world, where everything feels overpriced, yet so accessible. With just a few clicks, you can find everything you need on websites like Amazon, Shein, and so many others. Whether you're into acrylic, dip powder, polygel, or press-ons, the options for creating beautiful nails are endless. I'm here to show you how to do your own nails from start to finish. I simply added up how much I was spending every 2 weeks, watched a few helpful YouTube videos, took advantage of affordable deals, and learned how to do nails right at home. Now I can switch up my style every week if I want to, and you can too. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a licensed nail tech and I didn't go to school for it, but I've learned how to create beautiful nails that I love, and you can too.
TikTok safety content. I log into the app, rewind to earlier today. There's Melissa on the phone, saying names, saying my name. I isolate the clip and send it to the agents. I don't know if I'm a witness anymore or the star witness. Next morning, I barely get a sip of coffee before there's a knock. It's Ashley, the lawyer, hair in a bun, no makeup, holding a flash drive. She whispers, "They're watching me too. I found something in my boss's safe. Financial records, fake shell accounts, your business name, and his. I think I've been helping him cover it all up." I let her in. No words. Just coffee, anxiety, and a drive full of evidence on my kitchen counter. VO. By 1 p.m., I'm in a federal office building downtown with Ashley and 2 agents. They play back the footage I sent, review the drive, and look at us like we've just handed them a golden ticket. Turns out, the guy behind the whole operation, Kay McIntyre, wasn't working alone. He was using his law firm and multiple salons across the Southeast, including mine, unknowingly. But the real twist? Ashley's boss, the managing partner, was McIntyre's cousin. They'd been laundering money for 3 years, through nails, lashes, barber shops, all businesses run by mostly women of color. And today, that ends. They ask me to stay for a few more questions. I agree, thinking it's just routine. But then Agent Ramirez pulls out my old tax returns, ones I filed through a third-party service 2 years ago. He circles something, a deposit labeled Consulting Services, Cayman Subsidiary. I blink hard. I've never been to the Caymans. He nods slowly. Exactly. Someone's been using your identity longer than you think. This didn't start last week, Kira. It started in 2022. I step outside for air. Ashley follows, shaking. She just got a call from her firm's office manager. He says the FBI raided the place. Her boss? Gone. Fled before they got there. But here's the bombshell. Someone inside the Fed building had tipped him off. A mole. That means everything I just shared, everything Ashley gave them, someone knew, and someone's still watching us. I head to my car in the basement garage. Soon as I turn the key, my GPS lights up. Route already entered. Destination, LaGrange Auto Body. I never typed that in. My stomach drops again. I call Agent Ramirez and he says, "Don't go anywhere. Stay put. We'll come to you." But someone else already has. A dark SUV pulls in behind me, blocks my exit, tinted windows. I duck, and I start live streaming. I act fast. I throw my car in reverse, hop the curb, and peel out the side ramp. Not today. I don't even go home. I drive straight to Tasha's cousin's house in Decatur. He's a retired cop. I tell him everything. He stares in disbelief and says, "Girl, they weren't after you. They were going to use you. That flash drive might have been bait. You just blew up someone's whole operation." Saturday morning, I get an email from a burner address. "The money wasn't meant for you, but now the wrong people know your name. You'll have to choose safety or silence." I forward it to Agent Ramirez, who goes quiet. Doesn't respond for hours. When he finally calls back, his voice is calm. Too calm. "Kira, we think the mole is internal. You'll be placed under protective observation." I laugh. "You mean I'm getting a babysitter?" He says, "No, you're getting a whole new life for now." I pack up my studio in silence. 1 suitcase, my drill, my best brushes. The rest? Evidence. The feds are sending someone to collect my equipment. They believe the money laundering plugin had a keystroke logger. That means every login, password, and account I ever accessed might have been compromised. I realize I haven't just been doing nails. I've been used as a digital mule. The safe house looks like a regular Airbnb. Neutral furniture, minimal art, and a faint smell of cinnamon from a plug-in warmer. but everything about it is monitored. No Wi-Fi, a prepaid flip phone, and a legal pad to write down anything sensitive. It's surreal. Just last week I was editing nail tutorial clips and packing Etsy orders. Now I'm being briefed by a woman named Agent Lynn, who tells me in a crisp voice, "We believe you're the only civilian witness to make it this far inside the operation without being flipped or silenced. That makes you either extremely lucky or incredibly useful." Remember that flash drive Ashley gave me? Turns out it had more than financial records. Buried deep in encrypted folders were voice memos, conversations between Ashley's boss and someone with a British accent. They were talking in code, referencing salons 4, 7, and 9, which the agents now believe correspond to specific nail techs in Atlanta, Miami, and Charlotte. But here's what chilled me. One of those recordings had my name. They were tracking me for months. Ashley swore she didn't know. But now even she's being watched. That micro RFID tag I planted under her pinky charm, it's already pinged 3 unexpected locations, including the Cayman Islands consulate office in downtown Atlanta. So, who's really playing who? While reviewing my own business emails with the federal tech team, something caught my eye. An old client from 2 years ago under the name Lena J. She'd booked me 3 times in 1 month, always paid in cash, and had that same weird obsession with money-themed sets. The kicker? Her email was linked to one of the shell corporations on the flash drive. I remember Lena. She wore gold chains, barely spoke, but once told me, "You're good with polish, but it's your silence that'll take you far." I thought she meant I was chill. Now I realize she meant I was trainable. Later that night, a restricted number calls the flip phone. Agent Ramirez. Only it's not. It's a deep, unfamiliar voice pretending to be him, asking for details on the safe house address. Luckily, I've been briefed. I hang up, but I know the line is exposed. 15 minutes later, Agent Lynn bursts in and says, "We're compromised. Pack one bag. You're being moved again. And this time, Ashley's not coming." That's when I realize Ashley never mentioned that recording with my name. She had the flash drive before I did. And those office visits, those weren't about saving herself. They were about silencing the trail. And I was supposed to disappear in the chaos. We relocate to a cabin outside Macon. It's quiet. Too quiet. But the silence gives me time to think. I remember something from back in December. One of my clients, a sweet older woman named Denise, used to work in financial compliance at a bank. She once joked, "You'd be surprised how much crime goes through beauty salons. We used to call them glam fronts." I never thought much of it. But now it clicks. Denise might have known something. I dig through my client records and boom, she paid me through Zelle. But the account? It wasn't hers. It was a business account registered to McIntyre Holdings. Denise might not have been a client. She might have been planted. The next move comes fast. Agent Lynn sits me down with 2 more agents and lays out a crazy offer. I can help them build a full case, go into witness protection after, change my identity, relocate permanently, or I can walk away now, say nothing, and return to my old life, under surveillance forever. They say the case could crack open one of the largest digital laundering networks in the U.S., and I'd be the key witness, the nail tech who took down a $40 million financial ring. I sit there staring at my gel-polished hands. I never thought a base coat and a cash tip would lead here. But I also know this. If I walk away now, I'll never sleep right again. I sign the cooperation papers. They say I'll get a new name, a new state, and that someday, when it's safe, I can come back and rebuild. But as I'm escorted to a black SUV with tinted windows, I notice something odd. One of the agents has a scar on his wrist, the same scar the fake Agent Ramirez had in the video recording. I freeze, smile, slide my phone under the seat and hit record. Because just like nails, the feds can look polished too. And if I've learned anything this week, it's that the real criminals know how to file down the truth until it's glossy, silent, and undetectable. The agent with the scar, let's call him Agent X, doesn't talk much. He just nods at me through the rearview mirror every few minutes like he's checking to see if I've caught on. I stay calm. I breathe like I'm tired, but my mind is racing. If he's the same guy from that fake call, that means I'm not being taken to protection. I'm being moved off the board, quietly, permanently, but he doesn't know I've already started recording, and he doesn't know the flip phone has location tracking toggled on through a backdoor I installed with help from Agent Lynn before leaving. About 40 minutes into the drive, we pull off at a tiny gas station outside Warner Robins. He says he needs to grab a drink, leaves the keys in the ignition. I make a choice. I grab the flip phone, press the emergency ping 3 times, and slip out the passenger side. I don't run. I walk, calmly, into the station. I ask the clerk to use the restroom. Inside, I barricade the door with a trash bin and wedge the phone in the ceiling tile, recording. Then I wait. 3 minutes later, I hear the chime of the door. 2 men, not one. And they're not feds. They're dressed in plain clothes, but they mention me by name. I exit the bathroom and fake a smile. I say, "You guys here with Agent X?" They nod like I'm not supposed to ask questions, but I notice one has a wire cutter tucked in his belt. Not standard. I stall, ask for gum, ask where we're going. The second guy, bald, says too much. "You'll be out of the country before midnight." Out of the country. My blood runs cold. But right then, headlights flood the parking lot. 3 black government SUVs swarm in. The real agents pour out, guns drawn. The 2 men drop fast. Agent Lin rushes toward me, face pale. We lost visual for 48 minutes. That's all it took. I realized just how close I came to disappearing forever. Back in a secure federal holding room, I watch live footage of Agent X being interrogated. He folds in under an hour. He wasn't an agent at all, just a tech contractor who helped develop the corrupted payment plugin. He'd been promised a cut of a $12 million wire transfer for delivering the final witness. Me. The person who could unravel the entire operation from the inside. The twist? His inside contact wasn't Ashley. It was someone higher, inside the Department of Justice's Digital Crimes Unit. They were erasing witnesses one by one, using fake badge access. And I was the last one left. The next time I sit in a salon chair, it's not mine. It's a quiet, sunlit studio in Oregon. Different name, different license, but the same hands. I tell my first client, money green isn't really in this season. She laughs, unaware that shade almost cost me everything. I glance at the corner of the room where a new security camera sits. And under the floorboard, a flash drive, my copy. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that stories like this, they don't just disappear. And neither do people like me, especially not when we know where all the money went. The morning after my first Oregon client, I find a plain manila envelope slipped under my new studio door. No name, no return address. Inside is a single Polaroid. Ashley, sitting on a yacht, champagne in hand, wearing the same money green set I gave her before the RFID implant. There's a sticky note stuck to the back. Some stories don't end. They loop. It means she knew. Maybe she was never running from the network. Maybe she's been climbing through it. And somehow, I helped her get there. I meet with Agent Lin one last time. I slide her the photo. She studies it and says, almost to herself, she's not just surviving, she's expanding. Then Lin pulls up a live satellite feed. Ashley's yacht is docked near a private island tied to offshore bank accounts under LJ Holdings, one of the dummy core on the flash drive. "She's building something bigger," Lin says, "but we'll need someone close to track it. Someone smart, invisible." I laugh, because somehow I already know what she's going to ask. So now it's just me. A suitcase, a new set of credentials, and a pair of gloves to cover my perfectly polished hands. My salon days are over. For now. But the girl who used to paint dollar signs on gel nails, she's still here. Only now, she knows the value of silence, the weight of evidence, and the art of slipping into a room unnoticed. My name may have changed, but this story, it's just getting started.